Hey y'all, what is going on? What's going on? What's goody? Let me go ahead and get this collar. Hi, welcome to the QOP IG Live Talk. Honestly, I feel like April, I have been doing a lot of IG Live Talks this month, but I just been having so many people I've been connecting with, collaborating with, and honestly, it's just been so much fun. But before we talk about that and do the intro, can we talk about the Pop the Balloon situation on Netflix? Yeah, let's have that key before we start. I would say a lot of people have been asking for my opinion and my takeaway, and this is how I honestly feel. I'm glad Miss Arlette has her bag with Netflix. Thoughts and prayers for the team as they have gotten the results of the Pop the Balloon fans who watched the show. And hopefully, I just pray that with the franchise, I'm thankful that Arlette still has connection where she could still do her episodes on YouTube. But Netflix, take notes from the responses from the Pop the Balloon. That's all I gotta say. And girl, get your bag. But needless to say, I am so excited. The IG Live Talk that I've honestly been able to kick off has really been a joy to interview just so many people in different spaces. But honestly, since Hollywood has been going through their little kikis, I've been able to just transition over into many storytellers that are a little bit outside of Hollywood. And honestly, this year, this topic organically kind of came into it because especially I've been pivoting over into this space. Content production. And what I've noticed with content production heavily when it comes to brands, supporting businesses, supporting your community, content production has really been huge in being able to pivot in storytelling. And I have just been amazed with all the people that have just already been in the game grinding in that space. We had Okima the other day. Shout out to Okima. If you missed that interview, baby, it was really deep. Honestly, I would say it was the most deepest episode that I've ever done. She even had me cry. But to see her journey and see her story and still, it's different when you interview the Tyler Perrys and all the other things. But when you get to interview somebody that's in real time about to take off, it's beautiful to watch. So shout out to Okima. Shout out to all my people that are in that mode. Because it's not just me. It's not just her. I know a lot of people. Shout out to Courtney! The Michelle Phil fam. That's one of them too that just I see in real time like taking off. And that's what I feel like the IG Live Talk just helps. It just helps to really give flowers to those that are just taking off in real time and giving them their flowers now and giving them their flowers in each elevation of their milestone. And I feel like those that are in content production have been really in their pocket because that's where Hollywood is leading to, as you've probably seen with the Pop the Balloon situation. So without further ado, I'm so excited to have my special guest, Alex, who is the co-founder of Social Sanctuary LA. Yes, my LA people, if you are here locally. This group, honestly, I met them through the Micho Film Festival event that they had. But then me and Alex just kept like following up with each other and just saw so many similarities, saw so many collaborations. He invited me to a lot of events. One of the biggest events that he did recently was with a space with Art Base and during Downtown LA Art Night, which has been a great curated space that he has been able to do with being able to give like that resource of digital media, digital immersive experiences, which I think a lot of people are doing. I think for marketing people and brands, you need to get to the people and you need to have systems or just places and spaces like Social Sanctuary LA to be able to help you execute those things. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my special guest because baby, an amazing space because it is the birthday, one, and two, just being able to hear his story on the streets. Happy birthday, Alex!
Hello, thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome. How are you?
Tourist season is approaching.
And it came really quickly. It
Yeah.
came really quickly because it was literally just January not too long ago.
Yes.
But happy birthday. I'm so blessed and thankful for just taking the little time of your birthday schedule to chat with us so we can be able to hear your story, what you have going on, not only personally, but what you have going on with Social Sanctuary LA. So before we even get into it, I know you are originally from Houston, correct?
Yes. Houston.
Okay, cool. Well, tell me about your storytelling and like how you were able to curate it in Houston and what got you over here to LA.
Yeah, so originally I went to school for communications, radio, TV, film, minor in journalism from Texas Southern University.
Yeah.
And I started working in news when I
Oh.
graduated. Yeah, I interned in a radio station. I interned at the local Fox station there in Houston. And then I started working in news in Houston, and so that began like my career in production, or but I've always been a creative at heart.
Mm.
I think that when you know I went to school 2008 through 2012 in
Yeah.
college, so they told you, media communications was in this way,
Mm.
but that was the rise of social media was coming in. But we've always done social media since MySpace, high school,
Black
all of
Planet.
that, and so I always knew that I was a creative trying to find a place
Mm.
that that it's bigger than radio, it's bigger than TV, it's bigger than a movie, it's bigger than that. My creativity is all encompassing. So now I kind of feel that I'm a creative director, a creative architect in that way. So I worked in news
Yeah.
in Houston, which was great, working on morning show TV, but also working all types of hours, all types of
Listen.
all, and I did
News.
all the jobs, but
Yeah.
be on air because I was so nervous, and it made me so scared to talk
Mm.
in front of people. So I did everything behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The
I feel like that
assignment
was the
desk.
same way for me too. I actually did radio in college as well, and I feel like those that navigate in news or radio have a whole like mindset when it comes to storytelling. Like we have to
Yes.
really be in depth with detail.
Yes.
And that technique.
Yes, you have to be in depth with detail, and you have to be correct.
Yeah.
You have to, you're reporting news. So I did associate producer, digital producer.
Mm.
I was producing social media, stories for on air before social media producer was a title, before
Yeah.
social media producer was a role, before people were really locally including social media trending topics and what was going on social into live broadcast for local TV. Because at first, when I entered the workforce, they thought that social media was a fad. They didn't understand it. Millennials were coming into the workplace with all of these different new technology skills and the ability to see how it translates to audiences and the culture and all of those things. So it was kind of new at that time, but I always knew that there is a circle of life when it comes to online and offline, and that the metaverse that we live in is always what it would become.
Mm.
And so I eventually got a recommendation from one of the producers that I worked with at Channel 2. I always knew that I wanted to come out to LA. I traveled to LA with a group of friends, two of my friends,
Yeah.
and we went to Runyon Canyon. I posted this picture on Facebook, and I was like,
It be Runyon Canyon that be getting people to come out here.
it was Runyon Canyon got me here. I know I got me here,
Yeah.
but Runyon Canyon got me to a place where I posted the picture on Facebook, and I used my favorite Denzel quote, dreams without goals remain dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment.
Mm.
And dreams, on the to just, there, he said that quote, and one of the producers commented on my Facebook on the post and was like, swing by my desk when you get back to the newsroom. And I was like, okay, I'll be back in on Wednesday. And she said, it seems like you want to be in LA, working in LA. She was like, I can recommend you to work on a talk show or a court show. She was like, I know it's a little different from news, but you have
Go get
transferable
you there.
skills. She
Mm.
helped me revamp my resume, cover letter, met with the executive producers of the court show, and that's how I got to LA. by packing 2 suitcases and a carry-on. And she was like, this show, is in production for this long. She's like, you just have to figure it out. It was back in the day, like 2016, where,
You had
you
to
know,
figure it out.
prices were a little bit lower. Even though LA is more expensive than Texas, it's not as expensive as it is now. So packing up your life with a suitcase,
It was
moving to
doable.
LA, it was
It was
doable. And she
doable.
also recommended, a place for me to rent a room. And so that was my way out here. And I feel like I have been figuring it out ever since. I literally tweeted that, I moved here when I was 25. I'm about to turn 35, and I have lived 17 lives in LA because
It
LA,
makes you do that. LA, you have, especially since there's so many like communities, so many cities, and so
yeah,
many different opportunities that you get. It's like you learn yourself in every moment. And
yeah.
so, like, did you feel that way as soon as you came to LA? Like, not only from that job that brought you here, but probably like the opportunities that came around that at that early stage.
At first, when I moved to LA, it was overwhelming. Even though I'm from Houston, like a major city, this city is a million times bigger, and just trying to navigate where I fit in this space,
Yeah.
because creativity, I learned that there's so many sides of creativity.
Facts.
And me, as someone who is an overthinker and loves overstimulation, I was overstimulated by advertising, by marketing, by movies, by this, by that,
Mm.
by that, by this, by that. And I was just like, okay, I'm working in production. Is this the goal? Is talk show production the goal? What is my goal? Where am I going? So I I feel like for nearly 10 years that has always been the case. But I've done talk show production, I've done reality show casting,
Yeah.
I've done media relations for an elected official in LA. I have done brand social media management, agency level wide for brands and companies. So I have done so many things, but I feel like that makes me who I am. And I
Yeah.
love that now we're in a place where multi hyphenate creatives can do multiple things. And I think that that is one of the beauties of LA, is that you can reinvent yourself every week. You
Facts.
can you can do something new every week. You can simultaneously do 18 creative projects at once, and they can all be different but have some sort of synergy that ties back to who you are. So that, I think, is one of the things that I appreciate
Yeah.
about LA, is that the ability to be able to kind of do what you want and create what you want. And I think that that has been the beauty since the pandemic, because I've been here before pandemic, during
Yeah.
pandemic, post pandemic, and so I've seen the city shift. But I do believe that creatives are taking back their power now because of budget cuts, because of this, because of AI, because of things that are changing the creative
Yeah.
industry. I believe that creatives are like, no, I'm going to do this. I have a flower club. I'm going to do flowers. I like to make earrings. I'm going to make that a movie. I'm going to stand in what I want to do. And that is sort of how me and my friend Tori always talked about not seeing networking or community offline for people that work in
Mm.
social.
And
And
I
so
think that's
that's,
beautiful to have, because being able to be a multi like hyphenate, it's like we were able to learn that from the John Singletons and the Spike Lees. I was just talking to Okima about that the other day. Our generation, or just our like group,
yeah,
have been able to break the mold of Hollywood and take, like you said, take back our power, because we've seen our own idols kind of start to chip away and like
yeah,
start to take power. They
yeah,
weren't able to in the mold. Like Spike Lee wasn't able to be Spike Lee just yet
yes,
when he did do the right thing. He
yeah,
had to do a couple things before he was able to do 40 Acres and a Mule. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And so we were able to see that in different ways with Spike Lee, John Singleton, to now Issa Rae and Shonda Rhimes, and like all these people that
And
are,
Quinta.
I don't know if you watched number one on the call sheet, but they were talking about that. Like, you know, this generation is like, okay, we got the little nugget of working here. We
Yeah.
took that experience and now we can create our own production
Yes.
companies, create our own spaces so we can story tell our own way.
Yeah.
And you and Tori were able to do that with Social Sanctuary LA. So at what point in your moment did the idea come about, and how did you meet Tori and like make it be the thing?
Yeah, Tori and I met on Twitter.
Come
and we
on,
met.
social media. Sliding
Yeah,
in
we
the
met.
DMs can get you your connect. I'm sorry, people. Like,
Yeah,
sliding in the DMs,
we
please.
met online, and I think that is one of the things that millennials were really good at, was connecting online, because we had MySpace, we had all of these things that we were connecting with people on the internet.
Yeah.
So we were in a Zoom call for people that work in social media. And so it was during the pandemic. And so I believe it was Chris Hill. He had organized this Zoom call, and we were all on this Zoom call, and it was I feel like it was like almost 100 people on the Zoom call.
Yeah.
And we were all just like, hey, I'm here, I live here, I do this. And we were just having such a kiki online.
Yeah.
And then everybody started tapping in on social, saying, hey, I'm Tor. And so everybody started following each other from the tweet and then into the Zoom call. So me and Tori followed each other back, and I found her to be the most hilarious person. I found her to be so witty, and I thought that I was replying back to every tweet. I told her, because like I was like, I can't reply back to every single thing that you say, but there is just this synergy. And so she DM'd me one day because she was going to Houston.
Okay.
And she wanted some recommendations on people to connect with. So I connected her with one of my friends there.
Yeah.
And so then, we had each other's number from that. And then she texted me one day. She was like, Alex, I'm moving from New York to LA. And so then as like her first week there, we went to the Everyday People. Like we met at Everyday People.
So that's a good one.
Because it was her first like weekend in LA. We went to Everyday People. We went to the gathering spot. Then we went somewhere off of cinema. And it was the first day we ever met in person. And we clicked.
Hit it off.
We clicked like brother, sister vibes, like cousin vibes. Like we knew each other for a lifetime. And so we just, kept in touch when she moved here, and, began a friendship. And then we were always like, hey, like that experience that we had on Zoom, where is that in person for people that are, social and digital content creative? So we talked about that for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then I had a couple layoffs. The economy has been economying. The job market has been job marketing.
And can that be a word on a t-shirt, please?
And the creative uprise is here because we all have to survive and sustain. And so I texted her one day. I was like, remember how we've been talking about this networking mixer around social and digital content? I was like, let's do it. And she was like, let's do it. And I appreciate her partnership in that, because sometimes I'm all over the place, overthinking, and she is a logistical creative as well. Like she's an executive director of social. She's very, and I'm like, and so we complement each other so well in that, is that even though we're both creatives, we process creativity differently, but also synergy likewise, And so we did the first mixer. And so she said, let's do October. The week that we chose, I didn't realize was LA Tech Week. It was October 17th, 2024. And when I noticed that, like 3 weeks before, I was like, okay, I'm going to submit it to their Tech Week calendar. And so I selected creators, and I think I selected like marketing. And then they approved it which
Wow.
which amplified. So I put it on, had already put it on Partyful. So you had to make them a co-host on Partyful. Then they put it on the tech calendar. This was all, before.
Right.
And so the first networking mixer had 300 plus RZBs. And I was like, Tori,
you got something.
And so even before we put it out, I said, Tori, when we do this, this has to go somewhere. And so we sat and we were like, where are we going to have it? We found Wax on Hi-Fi, new restaurant in downtown. Uh, Chitter chatted with the owner first, via phone. Then we both went up there, and then we were sitting at the bar. I said, "This needs to be something. This is the start of something. I don't know." This was even before all the RSVPs from tech. I was like, "I really want to start something because I've had like 2 layoffs, and I feel like this is the motivation to stand and run in
your purpose,
my purpose of wanting to do this connection ecosystem." And so we thought of like social, it would be like, we were thinking of names, and then she was like, safety, safe. We landed on like social sanctuary, and so we started getting all the accounts. We made all the accounts right then because LA, social sanctuary was already taken, so we put the LA at the end, and then got all the accounts like right there at the bar. Did the first mixer, and attrition in LA could be 50 to 40%, whatever. So it was still like 100 something people that showed up to a first event that I'm like, does this make any sense? Like, 2 people, will they come? And so we tried to be as descriptive in the captions when we launched the Instagram, in the posts and everything, to see if it would connect, and it connected. And then we did another one the next month in November, and we collaborated with another organization, and it was the same
thing.
And I was like, oh, we're on to something. And so we got to Base Gallery because I was looking for a bigger venue, because I was like, okay, and so one of my friends was like, let's go get coffee at Base, meet people there, and was able to talk to Marcus about, just trying to find a bigger space for the networking events. And he's like, do you do events? And I was like, okay, I kind of do our events. And then one day he texted me, he was like, do you want to co-curate? Can you co-curate one of the DCLA art nights? And I was like, okay, sure. Maybe it's like talk show booking. And so that is how my angle began to be like, how do I infuse the social and digital content in the space, and how does it make sense for Social Sanctuary LA to be a part of this?
That's beautiful. And to tap in, just because you've had so much deep experience with social media, where did you feel like social media looking from the outside looking in, where did you see social media play a part in supporting creatives or supporting companies back then to how it is now? Because I know back then, especially for me, like when I was in TV, people wasn't using social media as much as they are now, or at least the quality of content definitely has evolved from when we were first from MySpace until now. Like they're doing like damn near aerial shots for a party, So how do you feel like the quality of content has evolved from when you started, was working your 9 to 5 to when you created Social Sanctuary with Tori?
I believe that content is king, and you're meeting people where they are. I learned in college in a media class, Dr. Brown at Texas Southern, she drilled in media to us, and she had us highly analyze. That's why I'm very analytical when it comes to social, when it comes to digital, because I learned in college that you must analyze everything. She had us analyze music videos. She had us analyze magazine covers. She had us analyze album covers. And then she also taught us, the different stages of media. First you had print, then you had radio, then you had TV. The evolution of media and how people communicate communicate and how people are getting information and how people are receiving and putting out information. Then we had the internet, right? Now, social. So we're really on our fifth progression of media. So I think that is how it changed, because when we entered the game, like with MySpace and things, it was internet.
Right.
So everybody was blogging. Everything was written blogging.
We were more reading.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Then as video, then what's the app that disappeared on us? Vine.
And QB as well.
And all of those things came in to do 6-second video, having the ability to post video online and have that, it changed the game. It changed the way that people are receiving information and seeing information. And also now when you think of events, when you think of marketing, when you think of products, people need to see it first. People are not just going to things like I am still a millennial that shows up even though I don't know what it is, because
you don't know what the experience is going to be.
You used to have club promoters pass out flyers on the street. Hey, it's a new club opening up on Main Street downtown. And
even talk about it, because even we could talk about like how we got music, like the street teams.
Street teams bring back guerrilla marketing. I love guerrilla marketing. And now people need to see content before they walk in the room. They need to see the vibe. They need to feel or assess the vibe before they walk in, before they buy, before they do this, before they do that.
Yeah.
And I think that is how it's different now. And so I know that. So I know that in marketing our events and in our things, we have to be content heavy. But what's so great is that we're a content collective. Yeah. So naturally, we are going to try and sell that. And I know that, especially when you think of Gen Z, they have to see a TikTok first before they go.
Yep.
They just don't walk in. They're scared to go places.
Listen, and with inflation, Uber rides is damn near 30 to 60 a ride.
And so I posted a TikTok about the Florentine rooftop where my birthday will be, and also one of the, one of the events that we're working on upcoming. And they just opened up downtown, and now that TikTok that I posted there from 2 weeks ago has like 30K views, and now everybody's like, oh, I gotta go, because you saw the vibe. And so that translates to everything: events, toothpaste, mouthwash. There has to be content. There has to be fanfare. There has to be some type of angle. Now everything needs a purpose. Now everything needs this. And so I think that social, before, when we started, it wasn't purpose driven. It was the Wild Wild West. Twitter was the Wild Wild West. Instagram was the Wild Wild West. Yeah. Do you remember the Explorer page where you could see, or that page where you could see where people were commenting on and what pictures they were liking? That era of Instagram, it was the Wild Wild West. And so now social needs to make impact. Digital needs to make impact, and you need to connect, and people need to connect. So I think that is something that I fully understand.
Yeah.
And I think that those are tactics that I use in our events, as well as how are people interacting with each other. It's not just a mixer where people are just coming and they're just kind of talking. What are people doing during the mixer? What are people doing during the event? During Art Base on DCLA Art Night, I push artists.
Yeah.
I push artists to make an immersive experience, because I'm like, this is what people are accustomed to when they come into the gallery. Are you going to live paint? Are you going to paint a shoe? Are you going to put content on the screen? We have 3 screens. Do you have videos? What makes your art in the space also an activation? Because you can take your art and activate other places. You can take your art and have Nike design this or design that. So we have to think of our way our art and our creativity and where it's going. And so I like anyone that wants to be in the gallery, I am like, you will be pushed. It is not just a place where we are hanging art and things. What interactivity is happening? Because how can this art gallery feel like a mini Coachella? Can we fit a Ferris wheel in there?
Mhm.
What can we have a live band? Can we have, because like you said, inflation. Eggs are $18. Uber rides are
The
$60.
nightlife, just having a regular nightlife, like, because I born and raised here, so I was around when Colors was the party, like,
Colors.
right,
When I moved to
right.
LA, Colors was a big
The free
thing.
before RSVP, when it was really free for
Bring
RSVP.
back ladies free all night.
Thank you. And people be complaining, talking about they ain't got no love life. That's because they ain't doing the nightlife
Somebody
correctly.
on TikTok talked about how you have free before 11, ladies were free all night. That sets the vibe. So by 12 o'clock, when people have to pay their $10, the vibe is already up.
Listen, I don't know what
We,
videos I've been
we
in
are
for
losing
recaps, waiting
recipes.
in the line. I don't know where. You know what I'm saying? But I was back in those days where we would wait in
We
line. I'm not waiting in line no
we're
more.
we are losing recipes, and a part of social sanctuary is to get back some old recipes and fuse it with the new recipes that we're cooking. I love that Tamara Mowry meme where she's like, I have this together.
Together.
We have to bring back. I don't charge for the networking mixers. I can't charge you to talk to somebody during happy hour. That is just Alex Green. That is just me. Because if I'm charging you $5, what am I layering that experience with? Are you getting a free
Mm,
drink? Are you getting, what is the access to because everything is so inflated. We have tariffs, we have sales tax
yeah.
coming up, that has increased in LA. So I know that I can eventually make money off of partnerships, off of sponsorships. So I play the long game. I
Yeah.
I play the long game. I'm not trying to nickel and dime you. That is why I strategically do happy hour mixers during happy hour. I don't get charged a buyout. I don't get charged a minimum. I'm bringing people to your establishment, and brick and mortars in LA are trying to survive. So I think that people need to be more strategic, because if I'm charging you $20 for this networking mixer, what am I charging you for? I not just for me to make my money back because I wanted to be in a fancy venue.
Yeah.
There's so many fancy happy hours in LA. We live in Los Angeles. So I think that our events have become well attended because of that fact, because of community, because people are able to commune. And I'm at least the incentive is that it's during happy
Yeah.
hour. Do we have the resources right now to pay for your first drink? No. But check back check back with us in August. We may be
Yeah.
able to have an open bar. We may be able to have, but I want to layer our events as mini activations. Mixers should feel like mini activations. What are people doing in the space? How are people connecting in the space? How do we infuse the social and digital content into the social and digital content mixer?
My question is for you
You know.
is what has been some of your feedback that you've gotten for people that have attended your events? From the first one to the latest one that you've done. I know like you've been doing stuff like throughout
Yeah.
these couple months this year, but what has been some of the feedback that you've gotten from your supporters that come to your events, or even just when somebody comes in for the first time?
I think the connectivity is a great thing that people enjoy. I think the first networking mixer, we had no idea what we were doing. We were just organizing people in a place.
Mm.
But we did play a game that I thought of because our networking mixers are called the Sync Up.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we sync up? And so it was an icebreaker game where I put questions. Where are you from? What college did you go to? What's your zodiac sign? So people could connect on a human level.
Mm.
And then I incorporated, okay, both of you all do a TikTok dance. Both of you all
Ooh.
finish this. And so I had
It
like 11
had to get people
questions.
out their comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Because most
And
of the time, people when they like when they go to an event, automatically they're gonna be like, "What's your IG?" and then call it a day. That's what I
they
feel like
call
it's
it a
now.
day, and there's no real like actual connection. So I was like, adults do need to be forced to connect. And also, that's when I started thinking, even before that,
Yeah.
of how will people connect in this space. I'm like, we don't have budget, we can't pay for drinks and things like that. But it's like some people found out, hey, we're both from LA. Hey, that's my Gemini brother, sister,
Yeah.
or however. Like people were connecting on this level as well. And because I'm like, hey, people are just coming to connect. But we had a really great creative crowd, and it was also Tech Week, so we had people that had apps and startups, and it was just a really great environment. And so from then, I started to try and incorporate these tactics. And every time I'm like, what is the tactic? How does this make sense for Social Sanctuary LA? What is the branding? What when you think of Social Sanctuary LA, what does that make you think of? So I think that the feedback has been at least the connectivity aspect, and also the comfortability aspect, and also coming to events and seeing people that you've seen at other events. And then someone was like, hey, I saw someone at your networking mix, and I saw them the next day at something else.
Yeah.
And so I think that is how it used to be. I mean, I grew up in Houston. That is just how it was. We
It
used to
was a reunion. We made every function was a reunion. We need to
everything
get
like
back to that.
we had teen clubs in Houston. We've been outside. Millennials
That's why our
in
knees are bad
Houston
now.
have been outside since 15, and everything was about connection. People went outside to connect. So if we're going to use content, how are people connecting? So that people are not just sitting on their phones and just you're turning up, or you're connecting for the content, but then you're not really connecting.
It reminds me of concerts because back then we didn't have I look back at my old stuff and I found an old ticket that I had of a Chris Brown concert I went to. It was $25 at the House of Blues on Sunset, and I remember I had no phone. I had no nothing. I remember I came in with my spray paint t-shirt on. Everybody looked like they was coming from the club. I had my J14 stickers on, had the full experience, but I will never have no memory of that because I had no camera and I had no phone. I feel like once the phones and social media came in, I know for you it's a challenge because you kind of like are in the vessel of creating storytelling through that space.
Yeah.
Do you feel like social media kind of hindered that authenticity of having a good time? Because now I feel like sometimes it's like once you see that light or once you see that camera, sometimes it's like I gotta act like I'm having a good time.
Like there's a yin and I definitely think there's a yin and a yang to the experience. I think that it does feel like Black Mirror.
Not a Black Mirror episode.
No,
It's
no, because I think social, just like I was talking about the TikTok, can amplify a space. But also, I personally think it's a generational thing. And I hate to be like age and this and that, because millennials understand both.
Right.
We understand go outside and be back before the sun goes down. When I had MySpace, we were in high school, but everybody didn't have a computer. Everybody didn't have access. So it was like you would log on the internet but then you still went outside. But then we understand TikTok, we understand Twitch, we can understand new technology
But we know how to
because
log
we were
on and
raised
log off.
inside of technology
Yeah.
as it progressed.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes Gen Z only knows that. Like you said, turn up for the camera. I've been to so many places, and it's like the only time people are having fun is if they're recording each other, and then they're sitting back there looking like, yeah, because we left our home to connect. So I do think it's a twofold. It's one of those things where it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages because I just kind of, when I am at places now, I can kind of tell the difference between the generations because
Tell me
it's just
about that experience. Like, how do you feel when you feel the different like spaces?
it's interesting now to be like to be like in our circumference of things because I've been at networking mixers and our networking mixers where people are like, oh, like I'm kind of shy or oh, and it's like because hey, they went to college on Zoom.
Yeah.
They entered the workforce on
Yeah.
Zoom. What can you expect from that? We entered the workforce when we were in business casual and we went outside.
And still was able to go into a 9 to 5
And
office
went
in
back
that
to
cool
work.
office.
So it's like we understand connectivity. We understand
That's true.
that, and that is all we know. And even with the addition of TikTok and Snap and all these things, we still understand a little bit of Boomer, a little bit of Gen X. We still understand the connectivity part, and I think that is it's interesting to see different dynamics, but also understanding that some people are introverted, some people are more extroverted. I feel like I know we sound like elders.
We do. I was like, back in my day.
Back in my day, I reached
Party,
club,
another club.
They be like,
Somebody's
Alex,
house
how are you so
after party.
outside? Outside is all I know. Outside is all I know. Do you think I want to sit in my house with my intrusive thoughts? I say this all the time. People be like, oh, you outside. Do you think that I want to sit inside my home with my intrusive thoughts eating at me? No, I will be outside.
Listen.
I come inside to recharge. I am a Taurus. We are in the dark right now. This is how I recharge. People don't understand. My friend always calls me. They're like, she's like, I bet you sitting in the dark. Yes, because my extroverted personality is so heavy that I must introvert in the dark.
I mean, it's a battery. Like
yes.
it's like photosynthesis. Like you have to have that rigmarole. You can't always be like, I'm outside all the time.
All the time.
Like you said, our like group of generation
we're the middle.
We was able to get it all. A Baskin Robbins, like get it all.
The
like,
middle,
we are
the bridge.
last of the last.
The bridge.
And not have to have a phone with us. Like we can tap in and tap out and put our phone down.
It's interesting because I know that my goal and my mission is to bridge. My goal and my mission is to take creatives and bridge the gap. And I have to reach the younger generation that's coming up. And I also still have to include our generation and older than us. And so that is why content is always a part of the experience. Content is a part of the marketing. I understand my purpose in bridging the gaps because I think social media makes people think that they know everything. And just because, get ready with me when I come as you work with me at Amazon and they show you all of these free food things and all this stuff. What are you doing? And it's also like people's LinkedIn has made people believe that just because you do a 80-page novel that you are a thought leader. And then you go to their LinkedIn and they graduated last year. And it's so I think that people need to still understand that there are things to learn. I still have things to learn, that we are connecting and bridging the gap in this way. You still need to go outside and make connections. You still need someone to open your resume. You still need someone to hire you. You still need those those principles. Yes, incorporate content online because that is where people are and that is how things are visible. But you also need the infrastructure to sustain what you're doing online. And I think that a lot of problems that are happening in the workforce is that you're hiring people that don't know what they're doing because of their LinkedIn posts, because of what they're aesthetically able to present online, and they get in, they can't work, they can't send an email, they want to go on vacation all the time. And I get it. Hey, like I want to be on vacation all the time. But also, infrastructure is still needed. Connection and community is still needed in real time, in person. Yes, like connections and relationships are the key to success. You mentioned the Michaud Film Festival. Those are my friends.
That's me.
You know, partnerships came from actual relationships. Um, so many things that I have been able to do have literally come from relationships or the start of a relationship building. And it is how you introduce yourself. It is what you're able to provide. It is so yes, leverage your content and your website and all of that as something that visually that people can see as your creativity, but also please back it up. Please have actual talent and actual skill and actual, and the thing is that where is the experience? And the thing is that the entry level jobs are shrinking. The assistant level roles where you spend time really understanding what you're doing, and they're taking people that graduated from college and they're putting them in something that's more mid-level, and they can't handle it because they didn't spend that 2-3 years with experience. You know, and people are trying to substitute experience for content. I don't care how many TikToks you make. Can you write that article? Can you do this? Can you professionally, you know, and I think that skill building is still very vital. Yes, and robots. And like it's like we're living and it's like you have to.
I think society are trying to find ways to cut the corners.
Yes.
And I think, like you said, and I'm learning myself, you know, navigating into the content production space and just learning from you all, and understanding it through QOP is that your audience will come.
Yes.
It's just you need to be truthful and authentic to who you are,
Yes.
but still understand that there is ways to get in. There's steps, there's protocols that just like, it's like, you know, when people were trying to go into TV and film, we were just talking about this with the topic of the Netflix Pop the Balloon. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We know it was popular on YouTube. We know that it got the
and it was cultural
from Netflix because of the feedback.
It was
but
cultural.
We saw the feedback of the first episode of the Netflix Pop the Balloon. And so where do you feel like that incident kind of correlates with our topic and discussion where it comes to, you know, if you don't be careful, you'll have someone that'll come in and take this ideal and dilute it to where it wasn't even what it was in the first place.
It's to me, I was literally saying, I literally did a tweet. It's the whole get to the bag prophecy. In people think that it doesn't matter what you do as long as you got to the bag.
Wow.
And it's like I think that the real audience, or even like I don't watch full Pop the Balloon on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I watch the clips that hit Twitter or Threads. So I'm very familiar with all of it.
Yeah.
Um, and hey, that's how some of us dissect information now.
Hello.
You know, it's
You got
it's it's,
time.
it's, it's in clips and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, in my view and in my opinion, and this is coming from Alex Green's POV, is that it was sold or however dealed to Netflix, and the creative control was taken out of their hands.
Mm.
And I think that you can tell Netflix took over. That's why they used it to have all of the other Netflix talent.
Period.
It was also a cultural show where you saw black people, and now you've gentrified it, and it's lost what people were saying about the original host. There were things that made Pop the Balloon pop the balloon.
Yeah.
There were cultural things. There were just things that, and it lost that, and that happens when you have this get to the bag. Oh, but she got to the bag. But she got to the bag at what cost? And I never want to sell my creativity and you do what you want with it, because that's my name. I'm not gonna sell Social Sanctuary LA and then you do whatever you want with it. I built this brick by brick.
Mm.
Those Pop the Balloon people built that balloon by pop balloon.
Yep.
And now you're getting reaction from the people that either A, watch the clips, B, watch the show.
Yeah.
And now you're getting all of that feedback. And I think it's an example of if people are going to invest in your creativity, if you do start something that people want to be a part of, or buy, sell, monetize, put money behind it, do not relinquish creative control. Keep the purpose, keep the creativity, keep how it was done. Just say, I'm going to put this on Netflix. Because that's what everybody thought it was going to be. Everybody thought it was just going to be what you see on YouTube on Netflix.
And it did it.
And when it came out, it was cheesy and greasy. And it was not at all.
Not cheesy and greasy. You was coming up with the lines. Oh!
If I build something, exactly. If I build something, it's mine. If you give me $100,000, it's still running the way that I want.
Listen, what she say, Shabana? I need
Because
$100,000 for some land.
Because everybody's in. Get to the bag. We brokered the deal. Got to the bag. We brokered the deal. At what cost?
Yo, so
Think about the cost.
Your authenticity.
Social Sanctuary LA will always Social Sanctuary LA. If you coming in with $100,000, you get in how we do this, and you are just applying your money so it amplifies whatever investments. We have to keep the synergy of what this is, and I will be, and we will be, and Tori will be, and whoever creatively is brought on who understands the synergy will be kept in that, even though investments are made and deals are brokered. That it's the same thing that happens when sometimes independent music artists go from independent to being signed to a bigger label. The label takes all the control because they have the money, right? We got to the bag, but now people are noticing, like, I love La Russell, right?
Yep.
La Russell.
He's so good.
Football, ads, this, that, and you have to DM him to book this.
Yep.
Yep. And the authenticity.
Yeah, he tells his numbers. He don't lie. Like, he be like, my numbers is this, and this. If you want to, holla at me.
We have to remember to stand and run in authenticity. I don't care how many dollars you wave at me. I don't care if I'm on my last dollar.
You still gonna be Alex.
I'm still gonna be Alex. We are still going to do things the way that it needs to be done. We are creatives and we have vision. Get out of the way or ran over by the train. Selling your ideas for pennies.
pennies.
I bet you that deal was broke. I bet you when they brokered a deal to someone else under a different color, I bet it was more money.
I mean, honestly, even the Reesa Teesa deal. I mean, yes, it was that monumental moment of somebody from a content creator space getting a deal with CAA, but it's just like you said, at what cost? Because we know that she's going to get a celebrity attachment, which is Natasha, thank goodness. And I know that Natasha's only going to do the best that she can with what parameters that she's given. But big question is, who's the investors? Who are the ones that are really making the final decisions on things to go from point A to point B? And that's where we saw an example with the Netflix thing. We probably saw that there wasn't a lot of us in those hands to make those final decisions. And this is where I think our generation, and for you, Tori, and for Social Sanctuary LA, you are like, okay, we know that there's a system out there. We get it. A lot of people don't get it, but we get it. Let's move over to our own path and be able to be in control with our own creativity and create our own immersive experiences to be a safe space for the people that come in and they walk out and be able to continue that baton of, hey, I went to an event, come. And then that grows from there. For the Black community, I feel like for us, what makes us so special is that we can be in every space and bring an audience, bring a culture, bring the coin. It's just that with our other counterparts that are jealous that they can't bring their people like we can. We literally can turn, like you said, you created Social Sanctuary from the bar. Like you had all the names of everything and created it from there. That is a drive that a lot of people don't have and still can't have, even with everything happening.
And it's rock. And I say this all the time, and I think we spoke about this, is that Black people have always had to create. They gave us scraps and we made collard greens.
Listen.
They gave us the tail of the ox and we made oxtails. They gave us the Chitlin Circuit run when Black artists started performing, and that type of run is the model that people do in order to promote new artists. Black people have always been marginalized, have always been given the less, have always been in that space. And I know that it's 2025 and people like to say, oh, we've progressed. No, we have not. And
it was just a little facade for a couple years.
It's a little facade, and we have to, and it's not a complaint, it's a realization. So Black people are so creative because we have to be. And we naturally are, all the way back to the motherland. The motherland is creative. So when they took us and put us in different places all over the world, what did we bring? We bring the motherland with us. The dancing, the singing, the showmanship, everything that it is to be Black. That is why they want to emulate us. But you can't emulate what you are not. You can try. It's a shtick. Why are Black people so great at marketing? Why are Black people so great at social media marketing? Why are Black people so great at fashion, design, choreography, artistry?
Black on My Block just got a deal with Live Nation Urban. That's big.
Because Black on the Block was able to make it Black. I went to the second Black on the Block and I said, these girls are wow. It was a fearless act of creativity and curation. And that is why are Black people so great at curating? Why are Black people so great at everything? There was a tweet that Melissa said, this world does not move without Black creativity. They take our music, they take our fashion, they take our marketing, they take how we do things, they take our TikToks and repurpose them. So I urge every Black people to be as creative and be as loud, because it's needed, especially in these next 4 years and what we're experiencing. We have to come together and have this creative and innovative renaissance. Why are Black people so good at cooking? Everything we do, everything we touch is magnificent. And I think that we need to realize that. We need to realize, and also because of that, it brings everybody. When you look at the events, when you look at Art Base from the last one, everybody was in there. Everybody. It was all kind of, it was, and I went to an HBCU, so sometimes I think of the, that's why I was like, okay, Art Based Spring Fest. It's
Yeah.
spring season. It's like we on the yard.
Listen,
That's what it felt
pollen is
like.
outside. We is
And we were in
outside.
a art gallery, elevated experiences fused with who we are, and pushing the innovation of having a DJ that makes content already. That, and like you talked about, art is content, content is art. It is all encompassing. We also had an artist, shout out to Raven, that had AI art.
Wow.
You could hear the sounds, this immersive experience. We had a DJ, Yachty Sensei, that was creating content while he was DJing inside of the art gallery, because I saw his videos and I saw his DJing, and then I was preparing for the art base before, and I was looking at his videos and we were listening to the music, and I said that would be so cool in an art gallery because his content shows reaction around him, that style of content. I went to an after hour spot after that art night and I saw him there and he was DJing, and I said, the synergy. I said, I want track with me. What if you bring that experience to an art gallery? We tapped in, we made it work. And so I can't wait to see the content. I can't wait to see these experiences, and it goes into leaning into every single part of who you are. I know that, and people are like, where does this come from? The inner child. Yeah. The inner child that has always been a creative in multiple ways. I say all the time, I was always changing my room.
That was me too. I was always the person that changed the room every 10 seconds. I was like, the synergy's a little.
I would repaint the room, re-put this over here, put that. I was creatively directing. Who knows? Because we tap in. We tap into who we are. And then when MySpace, all these things, I was always good at Microsoft Paint. I was always good. People would ask me to make flyers, do this, do that, do this, do that, cook this, that, and the third. Because my father, I grew up seeing, he was a creative. He built our house from the ground up. He made cabinets. He made wood, entertainment centers. Now that he's gone, everybody has a piece of something that he's made. And, I was like, that is the purpose that I also have, is that the connectivity. I'm like, can I build a house or can I build a chair? But can I connect people through creativity?
But you doing that, like you are doing that with Social Sanctuary House. Like you created your own house.
It's a house. It is a home, and I think that I've always grown up in that. My father always said, find a skill. Find a skill. Do a skill, perfect it, do it well. You'll always survive when you have your skills that you do. And so even though my father retired, he was still able to make cabinets and still make money from his creativity. He would find wood off of the railroad track and build a table out of it. And people would be like, Mr. Green, how do you do this? Because I didn't realize that he was a creative, and he would cook all types of dishes because he was in the Army. And so he experienced different countries. So when he got back, he would cook different things. So that's why I say, we've talked about earlier, is perspective. Is the more you expand your world, the more perspective that you get, and the more you're able to infuse that. Not that you are, taking, but you're influencing different little elements. Yeah, a table, right?
I was
always
actually
feel
going to lean into that. Shout out to Tap Candles. I know the biggest thing, in your story is so powerful. Wow, I feel like there's so many comparisons to us. We did Kiki episode. But, I feel like you all not only uplift the community, but you all uplift, like, businesses and
yeah,
products, like,
that
and
is
companies,
yes,
Black-owned businesses like Tap Candles. So how
yes.
do you feel like your events have curated a awareness to these businesses that, like you said, during the pandemic, I know a lot of businesses were shutting down, opening,
Yeah.
shutting down, opening. So
Yeah.
how has your, platform and your, experience with Social Sanctuary LA been able to uplift our businesses?
I believe our first networking mixer was at a new establishment in downtown, and I
Yeah.
told her, "Hey, want to bring in people during your happy hour, and drive people." And I said, "Hey, these are people that do content, so they'll naturally be tagging, amplifying, and so." I think that was instrumental because she said, "Hey, people came back. So people enjoyed the food, they enjoyed the vibe, they enjoyed the drinks, they followed the page, they're keeping up." And I was like, "Ooh, you can do economic impact and business development through creativity, through." And so there's a strategic reason why a lot of the events that we do are downtown, because I know that businesses all over LA are trying to sustain and trying to figure out how do we, you know, bring people and how do people spend money during a time of inflations and tariffs. But that is why I urge people to layer your events and layer your experiences so that when people come to places
They have
and they come
options.
to new places and things, that there is a value to the dollar. And so
Come on,
so you know
value to my dollar, and that's why I'm going to Alex's event because he
and
values my
we
coin.
had an event downtown in a lobby bar, and so that they were able to show us other parts of the theater, other parts of the hotel, and there was interest and intrigue
Layers,
in,
darling.
in layers. I always talk about layering so that there's value. And so then, at the Florentine rooftop where my birthday will be, and we're working in on another event, that is a new place, a new place. And so that there's also economic impact and business development as creatives are moving along with the social sanctuary, so that the creative community impacts in that way, because we are in the creative capital of the world. People come from all over. So I urge everyone to do, if you have an idea, if you have things that can impact businesses and be involved in that way. I work closely with the Happening in DTLA that puts on DTLA Art Night. Work closely with the Historic Core, which is the business improvement district for the center part of downtown, because we need to survive. Everybody, brick and mortar needs to survive. Content creators need to survive. Social media managers need to survive. And that is also why, with the social sanctuary events, especially the mixers, is that there's a different industry focus. Because a point of the social sanctuary LA is to show is to show how social media intersects with community and multiple industries: fashion, tech, music, hospitality, this, that, and how we can do workshops around creator economy, creator entrepreneurship. That is why, and because we do that, we get different audiences. But
which is not a lot of people do, because some people just stick to one event and
one
stay in the
event,
lane.
it's always
And it's
it's
okay.
always
It's okay. Make it.
which is great, which is great, and you don't have to do what we do. You don't have to do what we do. Do what you do. But like our next event next week, that will be at the Gathering Spot. It's tech, and it's during their tech circle.
Tell me a
And that
little
was
bit about that.
also, yeah, and that was also from a relationship of Stephen, who started the tech circle. And so I said, hey, tech and social intertwine. You have tech companies that need social, you have startups that need social, you have social media companies that are tech companies. So it's all intertwining and it's all connected. And I said, hey, um, could we collab during the tech circle? And show the intersection of technology and social media and digital content creation. And so that's how that formed. And so we talked about it for, a few weeks and months. And so now, on April 17th at the gathering spot during the tech circle, we'll have what we call a tech social. And so it'll be the intersection of tech, content, and culture. And so we get tech people in the room, your technical, non-technical tech people, but then you have technical tech people, and then you have social and digital content, and we intertwine because I went to Tech Week before, and I was telling people, oh, I do social and digital content or manage and know how to do, and it was like I was a unicorn. They were like, oh my gosh, like, wow. I have a startup and I need this, or oh, we have this and I need that. So I was like, wow, there is synergy and there's connectivity. And I think that it's a part of creating the ecosystem, a creative ecosystem, so that we are all able to sustain, because people still want to do their creativity, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Creativity is so broad, but we all have to work together. You can have your collective doing your things. We can help out. Like there's the LA Open, right?
Yeah.
The LA Open, Jack, they do it's open mic is so great, and it's downtown every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. And so we connected, and a part of that connection is that we are sort of building together.
Right.
I'm a couple more months ahead in a way, but I'm putting a deck together. I'm trying to get one pagers done. We were on the phone and we were talking about one pagers and decks and presentations and how the LA Open can form into this, how the social we're working together, sharing information. There's synergy, but then you're not doing what I'm doing, but we are working together. We can collaborate on an event and we can collaborate on it. And so I think that creatives have to work together, and that creatives have to learn that there's impact in sharing resources and working together to sustain. And so I think that is one of my favorite things too, is that as I'm on my journey, you intercede other people on their journey, and you see how you can partner together so that all journeys, just like my friend, I went to one of her events, Faith, and she does these mixers and these events where she infuses live music. So now she's going to be doing the live music for my birthday for our collab event, which is a proof of concept.
Yeah.
I believe that as a creative, everything you do is a proof of concept.
Period. Period.
And then through Roman being in Art Night, we've developed a great relationship when it comes to art and creativity. And he'll be doing, the art installations during the experience of the birthday on this rooftop, art in maybe an unconventional way. It's not in a gallery space, but you have art, you have live music, you're on this Mediterranean inspired rooftop, you have happy hour all night long, so you're meeting people on their journeys. And I believe that still needs to happen, because when you listen to people talk about the 90s, and people love the 90s, and there's this nostalgia about the 90s because they all worked together. Arsenio Hall was able to book all those people on his show because that was his friends. This person did this movie, then they guest starred on that show, then that person
what we were talking about? Remember when like music videos had cameos?
Remember, they were like Monica was in every video. Mary J. They would just pop
Faith
up. They would just pop up
Evans,
to the set.
Whitney.
They would
We
pop
were
up
just.
to the set.
Why was Whitney and Bobby Brown in Ja Rule's music video?
They would just pop up to the set because there was a genuine connectivity. They were each other's bridesmaids in their weddings. Like, you see all that footage from the '90s with Jada Pinkett Smith and all the other girls, and they're back at the wedding. That is a part of what Social Sanctuary LA is recreating real connection so that it doesn't feel transactional. Oh, this person is only talking to me because they want something. We all want something. We are all trying to get somewhere. We are all doing this genuinely. So yes, we keep seeing each other at events. We keep seeing each other at birthdays. We keep seeing each other. You got a content shoot coming up. Let me roll up. And it's this synergy. We can't be so separate. I know that people are trying to sell solo this, solo that, and I get it. Solo trip, solo date, solo dolo. That is why we are in some of the predicament that we are, is everyone wants to be so solo, and people don't understand that community at the end of the day sustains. And that is what I grew up in. I knew my neighbor across the street. I knew my neighbor caddy corner. I knew the people behind me. I knew the people over there. If I was to ever get lost, somebody would maybe probably find me. You walk into this store.
I'm gonna come back home. That's the one thing.
You
if I'm lost,
walk.
I'm gonna
You
get
walk.
home.
You walk into Fiesta on Cullen. Hey, how your daddy and them doing?
Yep.
And they watching you. You know you can't cut up too bad in Fiesta. They gonna go tell Miss Green, your son was down the street. Those types of synergy. It's
Looking
not
out for
nosy.
each other.
It's not nosiness.
Looking out for each other, like I got you, is missing. Like
And
I
that is
got
why.
you.
And that is why everybody was in each other's videos. That is why everybody was on different songs. You guest starred roles on that, and then you saw these music artists perform on that show, and then they guest appearance that. And then that person wrote this movie, and that person directed this, and then that person had this fragrance, but this person was a fashion person. So they dressed that person for that. It's all connected, and people need to stop acting like it's all siloed and separate, and I'm the only one, and only one this and one that, and only this and that. Work together. If everybody's doing events, be like, okay, I'm gonna do this on Wednesday. If you have this on Wednesday, then maybe I do the late night portion, and then maybe we do this mixer. Work together.
You know who I see do that currently a lot, besides y'all, because y'all definitely. One thing about you, and what I love about Social Sanctuary LA is that, like, when we connected, you just like pull up to my event. I was like, okay, and I figured a way, came up, pulled up. I was like, oh, like,
Pull up.
you. And then I was able to post stuff because, like, my page, I'm like, people need to see and need to come to this event. And I was like, I'll just post this on here and put some content. Bam.
And then we have such a conversation about how certain things like that can be infused into certain things, right? We won't say all of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, pull up on me. And you didn't wait to say, oh, okay, well, let me see a TikTok first about this. Pull up. If it's not your vibe, leave.
Let me tell you something. The one thing about our generation, I'm going to be the vibe. So I'm going to go regardless.
I'm the vibe. And if this doesn't match my energy, there's a door. I don't have to stay. But if it does, let me stay in that. And so it's like anytime I meet people, I'm like, hey, pull up. I send the link, pull up, just pull up, please. Everybody just pull up.
You can't say one thing I will say, nobody can say life is boring, because there is events out there for you to pull up to.
There are things going on, and I know that people are participating in what they like and what, the way that people are able to curate their timeline, people are able to now curate their life. And I think that is what a difference is in how businesses are trying to sustain themselves, is that people aren't just outside spending money just because the door is open and there's a little bit of music, people are walking in. Yeah. What is the curation? What are people getting out of it? what is it layered with? And that's what I come in with. It's like, how are we curating this? Because people are participating in curated things. People will be like, oh, what's the vibe over there? What's the age group over there? What's the this? What's the that? People ask 1,800 questions. I just used to walk in. I walk in. I still walk down the street. I see a light is on. I'm like, oh, like
Oh,
let
what's
me take
going
a.
on? That's me
Oh, what's going on up in
too.
here?
Yeah.
But you're like,
Nobody
but
ain't
everybody
expecting
wants to know because people are losing the wonder of life,
you know what?
the
That's a word.
intrigue, the wonder, the intrigue, discovering experiences right then and there. That's why you have to show content. You have to do this because people need to set the vibe in their mind. And then people are like, oh, well, when I went there, it wasn't the same as the TikTok. It's a TikTok.
It's
TikTok is
not
not
gonna be
like
the same.
somebody commented on my TikTok and was like, oh, nobody was dancing. This is 15 seconds.
Did they base off of going just because they didn't see nobody dance? Do people read flyers anymore? No, no.
I was
I got the
lit.
memo.
I
I
was
got the
lit
memo.
in real life. I'm lit in real life, so I don't have time to capture 2 hours at the function. I'm on a rooftop. It's beautiful. The vibes are amazing. The DJ is great. The air is wonderful. This is Mediterranean inspired. I don't have time to. I posted what I could, and what I did was have two 15-second clips. It was dark in there. There was a girl dancing in the video. Nobody dances anymore.
Then you dance.
15
Then you
seconds
come. You come to
of
my
a
event and you
Friday night.
dance.
The night lasts 4 hours, and you have taken 15 seconds and said that nobody dances at the function anymore. I just need everybody to really be real. And I think that that is what we were talking about earlier about content, right? There's a pro, there's a con. You think that in this 15 seconds that the whole entire night at this establishment is put into this 15 seconds because people are used to recaps. People are used to, no, I just posted me doing like this. But that's what I that's what I tell people, pull up, just pull up, pull up. But I also think that also goes back to what you're saying about inflation,
Yeah.
this, that. But it also goes back to you saying you are the vibe. People have to remember that I am the vibe. I do not need to vibe according to others, and others do not determine my vibe. But I think
Facts.
that what is happening and what we are seeing is people are letting others impact too much. So when you walk into the space, you're feeding off that energy. Feed off your own energy. Most of what comes to me is because I participate in my energy. I be in my own world. You know me. I be outside in my own world. I don't know what's
Listen.
going on. I do know what's going on because I need to be like, ooh, is this, you know, like I'm like, okay, wait, what's going
But
on?
you
Like I am paying
move
attention.
in the room.
Command the space. People don't want to walk in and command and take the space. I know it's a Friday night at the rooftop. Take that space, do your dance, hit your dance. I don't care if nobody else is dancing.
Yes.
Hit your dance. But people are afraid to be recorded. People's going to say this. I don't care. I literally was having that conversation because I am a millennial. I'm about to be 35. You know how mean people were in middle school and high school?
Baby, and I still busted a leg and busted them upside their head if they was gonna
There's
say
nothing
something.
that you can do or say to me that I have not experienced in real time. I said you had to fight for your life in high school. So you had a problem. You had to run up at the in the stairwell, boogie down. You caught that person at the bus. If
And
somebody
even
had a
that, I used to
problem and
remember going
someone,
to parties and you wouldn't even have to be cute and you would still get talked upon and pulled upon. We was just talking about when you go to the party and it was so good that when you turned on the lights and everybody was looking like this.
everyone, you go to the function. Everyone was so interconnected, so whatever, all of these things. And I think that people have to get a grip. And I think that, like we said, we are the bridge, and people know. And if you can't get a grip, be introduced to the grip. Be introduced. If, be introduced, because the thing is that I know that once a recap or something comes out about, my birthday or something, and this is something that continues at that place, then the TikTok will have to sell it.
Mm.
You know, so it's a proof of concept. I already know that it's a proof of concept because I know it's my birthday, so people will come because it's my birthday, the people that know me or know whatever. But to sell an experience to people, and I think that that's what people are trying to understand is how do we sell an experience that really hasn't happened, that is forming during this time. How do I promote my business, my brand, my initiative, the business
Can we
casual.
bring
So
that back? Can we bring back the business casual? I mean, we can't now because most of the stores are gone now. But we would get our business casual.
after 8 people, someone it was somewhere she was like, I'm not going out. It's after 8. I don't have heels on, and bring that back. I don't know.
Somebody. I was cleaning out my car. My boyfriend was cleaning out my car, and he came up. He was like, "Yeah, I was cleaning out the car, and all of a sudden, I seen like some heel shoes, like some heels that you had in the trunk." I was like, "Oh yeah, I did have them back in the day. Switch my shoes out."
You switch up,
Yeah.
and it's like, and so it's like bringing back the experience of going places and doing things and the excitement about your outfit that you're wearing or the
Living in the moment.
thing that you're the inertia that was a part of the experience. So that is also why I've tried to infuse that into the mixer or content experience, event experience of like, hey, fit check, what are you wearing? So if we are trying to meet now, post your fit check on the way to the mixer so that you feel good, so that you are, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to wear to the social? Like, what am I, call in the group chat, what are you wearing to the, so that people feel good and feel good about themselves on the way to experience participation in themselves, because you showed up for you. You didn't show, if you showed up for everyone, you're never
going outside.
You're never gonna have a good time if you only show up for everybody else. You will never have if you will never have a you will never you can tell the people that go out for other people because they're always miserable when they're outside. Or they're always miserable when they're at an event, or they're always miserable at something because they're doing things for others. You showed up to network. You showed up to the art gallery because you wanted to see art.
Right.
Not, there's so many outside forces, but we're inundated with outside forces because of social and digital and the metaverse and live streaming. And we are inundated with things that have nothing to do with us. But you have to remember, every time you leave your house, this has to do with me. I'm going to the grocery store. This has to do with me. What do I want to eat? Or if I'm bringing something to somewhere, what am I bringing? And not just solo, but what part am I playing into this? If no one's dancing at the function, did you start dancing? That's happened to me before. No one was cutting up, having a good time. Baby, I'm in the corner, and the energy permeates. It leaves me and people, and it goes out, and it draws people in. I've had people say, oh my God, you're having such a good time. I had to come over here. Come on over and have a good time. What are we?
And you know what I think too? I think what broke that mold was Beyonce's Renaissance. I think that gave us that reassurance of having a good time, living in the moment. I was excited when people was over here showing they silver outfits and they little get dressed. I was trying to see on Amazon, trying to get my outfit, my little hat on Amazon to match with the experience.
And that's what
you went to the after party that was specific, the Renaissance after party specific. Like, you made it that experience. Shout out to those that are going to Cowboy Carter, because I know that's going to be a time.
What did you say? What did you say? Experience. Give people experience. I don't care if it's a happy hour. I don't care if it's a workshop. I don't care if it's a book club. I don't care if it's brunch. Give people an experience experience, because experiences are needed. Experiences are needed. Not it. You know, if you just have a DJ in a bar, of course people are just gonna stand around if they're not used to function. I'm from Houston. People cut up everywhere. That is just
Sunday,
our
good day.
nature. That is why people are getting on planes and traveling to Houston, Texas, because that is the culture.
Mhm.
Houston is not baby Atlanta. Leave us alone. We have nothing to do
Yeah.
with Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yes, a southern city that does have a nice population of black people. There may be a hookah smoke. There may be a chicken wing. That may be all we have in common. There is something very cultural about Houston that people are getting on planes, people are moving to, people are going to weekends. Hey, spend a weekend with me in Houston, because there's a Houston culture that you only get in Houston. It can't be, it is cultural for us to be the way we are. When you see Beyonce, when you see Meg the Stallion, when you see people that come out of Houston, everything that you said about the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Everything that Beyonce sing rapping, that's very Houston cultural. The experiences. I keep saying layering because Houston layers experience. You go to the club or you go to a day party, you go to something, but you have a band, you have a DJ, you have this, you have that. That is what the Houston culture is used to. Layered vibe.
I will even take it and pull it there. When I did Bring It, it was the same thing with the majorette competition shows. Like, you come in and the parents and the older people would come because they would be busy too. While they're supporting their kids on the dance floor for whatever routine or competition they got categoried in,
Yes.
they'd have booths of different vendors of like buying
And,
t-shirts, buying
and,
clothes, supporting other businesses,
and that
food.
is
Baby, the concession stands would be wrapped around the corner.
and
They
that's
would
what
have
I'm talking
halftime
about.
shows where the parents would compete against each other. So bringing them into the
And that's
experience.
what I'm
Yes.
talking about, experiences. That's what I'm talking about, experiences. So if you're going to charge, if you're going to do certain things, what is the experience that you're providing? What is the experience that you're providing for people? What are you curating that you're giving of yourself to the attendees? I always try to think about attendees. That is a part of my curation. That is a part of my method, is the eyes of an attendee, because I'm always attendee, been an attendee. You know, what
We
would
know what we
I
want.
want to see? What would I want to experience? Or, you know, asking people what would they want to, as someone walks in, like you said, as someone is preparing to come, like, you know, the experience that you're creating. Like, yes, there's networking mixers all the time, there's events all the time, but a part of that curation is because we're building toward a signature event.
Yeah.
There is strategy, like you said, there's strategy in being downtown, there's strategy in collaborating with multiple industries. You know, there's, with social and digital content, there's strategy to pushing artists that come into the gallery space to create activations, because this is what I say, as a creative, you're always doing a proof of concept. People don't understand that everything I do is a proof of concept. Everything. Everything. I am strategic. Nothing I do is activated, 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 Alex activated. Activated hours is what the birthday is called.
Yeah.
So that if the people that own this place like it again, it'll be activated hours. That's branding. People are like, oh, Alex outside activate. There is a reason.
Yeah.
It is natural, a part of branding, and is what is naturally coming on. But then you realize that what you naturally do is a part of your branding, is a part of your marketing. When you think of Tabitha Brown and all the phrases that she said, that's why she trademarked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was able to go on certain merchandise, Donna, these things, you know, very good, all of these things that naturally happen. So people have to lean into what naturally happens. And so we're working toward something. There is a ultimate goal. There's like 3 ultimate goals. A celebration of all this encompassed in one place.
Yeah.
You know, because then it becomes strategic. Then you don't feel as a creative that you're just out here twirling around and you're just doing things. It's like, where is this going? And I understand that as being a creative entrepreneur. And let me tell you what also happened and what also has helped, working with a venture capitalist on how to take your idea into capital.
Yeah. Just hard
And I
for a lot of people to do.
And I think that that's where a lot of our creatives struggle, me included, is that I'm such a creative idea.
Yeah.
Okay, but what am I doing? How do I monetize, right? So then you want to charge $20 or whatever for every mixer. I'm not saying, but if you're going to charge for an event, do people get free food? Do they get bombarded? Do they get, are appetizers being? If appetizers are being passed around and your first drink is on us, hey, $10, $15, $20, it kind of makes sense. It equates.
Yeah. But if I'm over here spending $500 and only getting no food, no drinks, and maybe like one panel to be like, stay in school.
It's just like making it make it's like making it make sense. So it's like working with a venture capitalist on creating strategy creating decks for partnerships, for sponsorships, one sheets, building out the economy part, the business part of your creativity.
Yeah.
That has been so impactful, and now I'm hoping that she can work with multiple creatives and that we can host an event on creative entrepreneurship, so that that you need a backing that maybe you don't have, and I know that I am a creative that needs that help. I need that type of help of like, hey, we're doing these mixers, we're doing this stuff. We got digital content ideas that we want to do. We have content ideas that we want to do. How do I form my creativity into something that can be monetized? And I think that is where creatives have to also understand, is that yes, the creative sustains, but also get your things in order so that everything makes sense. So if you're working towards something, because she's helping me build the ultimate goal, and I needed that. And she called me one day. She was like, "I see what you're doing." Met her at the gathering spot 2 years ago. We've always stayed connected. Yeah. And she was like, "I see what you're doing. I think I can help on this end." And then another person, Oki, helped me start to put the deck presentation together. I was like, I made so many decks agency level, but I hate making decks. He was like, "Oh, I love making decks." So yesterday,
people in their spots of what they are strong in.
You play your role. If you are not good at business, find somebody that's great at business so that y'all can partner. If you're not good at events, find somebody that's good at events. If you're not good at social, find somebody so that you partner and you exchange goods and services. And so there's a fruition, and so that is also a urge for creatives and creatives entrepreneurs, that if you need help, find where you need help. If you're spinning in your creativity and you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you're like, okay, there's no money being made or no partnerships being made, find a venture capitalist, find a business person, find someone that can help you package that and understand how to go forward in something that's marketable for what you're trying to achieve. And as things grow, as things grow and get bigger and bigger, you need that. And I was like, because like I told you from the beginning, I told Tori, this is going to be the start of something. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know exactly, but I feel the energy that the push that I've needed is to believe in myself and to believe in what I have and believe in what I give and believe in what I offer the world, and not letting people tell me what I offer, but let me just show you what it is. It's old as day. Build it, they will come. Build it, they will come. And like you said, remaining true to the authenticity. How do you do that? By remaining true to the purpose, by remaining true to the vision. Things can change, things can pivot because you need to adapt. Adaption is needed. That's why they've changed some brands that were in cursive to non-cursive because Gen Z can't read cursive, right? So
Wow.
I was reading that one article. They don't when they see cursive, they're just like, eh. So a lot of brands that had their logo or lettering in cursive,
Nike.
you see what I'm saying? So adaptation is needed, but you stay on course with the purpose because Nike has always been a brand about humanity. That's why Nike has sustained, and that's why they joined forces with Michael Jordan. It made sense to do Jordans because he is also humanity. So you do things that align with the purpose, even though technology changes, even though you got to pivot, you got to figure this out. And that's how you stay authentic. People are authentic, authentic, authentic. Purpose makes authenticity.
Wow. That's a perfect example. And before we wrap up, because oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it was so many gems. Like, thank y'all for staying and tuning in because
I
baby, I
know.
was over here writing notes as well. And Alex, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud
Oh,
of
thank
Tori
you.
for you all to really just like be so tunnel vision in the skills that y'all have built up individually.
Yeah.
Y'all organically came together and
Yeah.
y'all have trusted the process. Because I think a lot of people in it too is like when you have startup companies or when you collab together, it's a vibe when you start.
Yeah.
But when you go through the roller coasters of the ups and downs, the waiting times, the different personalities when
Yeah.
it comes to different situations,
Yeah.
it really shows and proves on how you trust the process. And I'm so proud that I've met you all in a stage that you all are elevating into, and just seeing it from the outside looking in when I was able to go to the event and see how many people were able to connect organically, be able to vibe with the art, be able to vibe with each other and buy a coffee when they were there, like food, wine, like it was a whole thing. And you were able to get like a Baskin Robbins of everything. But it shows that when you trust the process, the people will come, the vibes will organically be there, and the ideas of events that you want to give back to the community,
Yeah.
it will make sense. And so the last question, any future events that we need to pay attention to for Social Sanctuary LA that we need to RSVP for, start to come and pull up?
Oh yes, we have the Gathering Spot Tech Social coming up, and then we'll have a mixer that we're working on for May. Um, yeah, I want to keep working on that before I say, but there will be a mixer for May on May 16th.
Nice.
And that will be with that I'm working with a friend on, like how we said relationships matter, and then that industry focus. And I'm really excited for that one because I do believe that all of the concepts that we're trying to do in the mixer form of making it very interactive and things like that, it's all forming, at the Gathering Spot. And then at that one, it just becomes a progression, like you said, because no one talks about the process, the creative process of staying motivated and dedicated while things are starting up, while you have to keep introducing yourself, while you have to keep proving something that you're doing, staying dedicated every day to the purpose, of what you're doing. But when you know that that is what you must do, they say some are called, some are chosen. When you're chosen,
There's no ifs and buts. You can try to get away from
when you're
it.
chosen, you get the Missy Elliott's, you get the Denzel Washingtons, you get the Halle Berrys, you get those people. When you're chosen, nothing stops. Just nothing. Everything that was yours is yours. Everything that is not will move out the way, and you have to realize that in life, it's a yin and a yang. So stay dedicated. Just like Nipsey Hussle said, how long will you still stay dedicated? How long will you stay dedicated? Like, especially living in LA, I've been here nearly 10 years, and I feel like I'm just really fully tapping in to the start of where I really want, but I know that all the experiences that I have, and I know that when I do things, the platform that I have is because of my experiences. So I just urge all creatives in however you create and whatever that is and whatever diaspora of creativity that is, just to keep staying dedicated and keep collaborating for sustainability, and and we are going to where we need to be, and we will be where we need to be because we are where we need to be right now. And so those are things I have to remind myself of that every day. I woke up and you get your affirmations, whatever your process is that gets you in that. Try your best to stay in that, and also give yourself grace for the days that you are frustrated and that you are like, in what I'm doing making sense. But then, like you said, when you go to the events and you see the reaction and you see how people feel by what you're doing, and also don't be just motivated by constructs. Enjoy the process. I'm starting to enjoy the process of things, more. So it's just like, and thank you for this platform, and thank you for this conversation and the work that you're doing, and the things that you are doing, and the things that we've discussed that's not even, in other conversations.
Listen, they don't even
I'm just
know
excited.
the collaborations
I'm excited for all of us to create this ecosystem. I think something new is burgeoning in LA because we're post pandemic, because we're in the creative situations that we are with the strikes, the layoffs, the this, the that. I think we're seeing what we're seeing emerge in reaction. So I am really excited to see how everybody forms their collectives, forms what they're doing. And if, like we've talked about before, if everyone forms their collectives, do what they need to do what they need to do, it's something, it's a movement.
Yep.
So
movements
let's move.
Movements, they do start in silence, but they do create in corruption.
Let's move. Let's go. Let's work. Stay activated. Get activated.
I know that's right. And with that, I am going to wrap up this IG Live Talk. Alex, it was such a blessing to talk with you. I already know we keep outside of this, but
yeah. We'll hem, we'll ha, we'll dilly dally.
All the time, but you teach me so much in being like, you know what, like, just do it, and the people will come, the people will support you, and I see nothing but greatness for Social Sanctuary LA. And where can we follow y'all, by the way?
At Sanctuary LA, and then also I'm at Alex Activated on everything.
Perfect. Well, somebody said they need a podcast. I mean, listen.
Well, listen.
I mean, it looks like if we may need to cook that up soon. I would not.
Look, we get in the kitchen. I love to cook, love to eat.
I like throwing in ingredients.
We make something. We'll make it. Yeah.
We'll make something out of nothing. But y'all gonna make me start having this idea of making an IG Live series into a podcast. All right. Don't make me start something. But like I said, Alex, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing, great rest of your evening. And everybody go support all of their events, Social Sanctuary LA. It is a time.
And then make sure you come out.
I would say look at the recaps and stuff just so you could like get a little,
And April 30th.
But don't judge. You have to go in person, because going in person is even more of a different experience when you go in person than just seeing it on your recaps. But content production really does make the importance of being able to uplift us and being like, okay, we don't have to wait on a big check to be seen. We can just be seen and trust the process that we will be able to monetize and get that monetization. It may not be today, but it will be down the line. So, Alex, I thank you. I thank you so much for the gems, the tidbits, the mantras. If you did miss the conversation, we will have this full conversation on our page as well, and we'll make sure to have the recaps and put it on our page. But as like we always say with QOP, live, love, and create. Alex, it was a joy. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And with love, y'all. Deuces.